Here's the opening to my version of The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. Now immediately we can see that there are big differences between this and a piano arrangement. In a piano you'd be starting up very high and going down very low, but of course the ukulele has only got just over a couple of octaves if you're lucky, and I actually can't hit the top D on here. So the opening should be B, E, C, A, B, G, repeated 3 times in 3 different octaves. But the way I've got round it on the uke is to play that one, then go down to the next octave. Notice how this has all been in nice, easy to remember patterns. 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 3. There are other ways of playing it, but this is the one that I decided was the most memorable. Then the same pattern on those 2 strings, but of course notice that that is an octave higher than you'd want it to be. And then for the 3rd time, I'm doing it in octaves there, then unison, and up to a high G chord there. There is an alternative way of playing it with harmonics, but this is so difficult to get these 2 to stand out that I decided after a while to play it the other way, because you're more likely to get a success. So that's the introduction. Lovely, memorable piece of music. Then it goes into an idea where you're playing a C chord, so you've got this, but then you want the bass to become an E, so I actually play that. So it's a rather strange fingering for that C chord there, but it's the one that works. Then another idea, because I'm wanting to get all the way up to this E with an F chord. Look, that is a bit with a stretch, so I go up to here. So you've had that F, then a quick, then back to a C, then this G7 with the top E, now a lovely D7 which you can do like this, then to a G, pattern, you've got these set of notes, something like that, but the harmony is changing, so the way I've done it, then up to this F with a top E, then the F minor like that. Bit of a tricky chord if you haven't played it before. So that is the first section, the introduction, and that part of the melody is played in 2 different octaves for the main part. First time you're starting down here, and notice it's harmonised in thirds. Then I do that run like that. Now you don't have to play the F minor after that, you can go and back through it, but it's quite nice to put in the F minor like that. Great temptation in bar 26, as there was in bar 22, to play a whole C like that, F, but it's not correct. A nice little subtle manoeuvring around. this is bar 27 into 28. So you go from that G7 to that D7, but you've got the B still added. Then, because you wanted the C there, when you want that D, you have to collapse the first finger or find another way of play that, maybe with all four fingers, but it gets a bit tight. That one again, and you've got the choice here. Now a very big moment in the piece where you've got this F to an F sharp diminished, then a really lovely arpeggio of a C. Notice how that's open, 12, 12, 10. Then back to a D7, that change, so the melody notes change from A to C. Then back to that G7, an E on the top. Now you repeat it, but most of it is an octave higher. Notice in this part you can start to put in some of the alternate bass lines. Same as before this part. Then quite a tricky one. Then back to this. Then perhaps the most difficult part of the whole piece in bar 43. Now if you've only got a 12 fret ukulele, don't play this the octave higher, use the previous version that you had. It's the same notes but in a different place in octave higher. Then after that one, you're basically thinking, well, I'm going to this D7 chord, but you're leaving the little finger up on the 14th, so it's going to be, then bring it back, then everything else is as if by magic in the right place. Again. Now for this one I didn't have an octave alternative because it's just too tough to play a F chord way all the way up there, so I went back to here. Okay, that takes us to bar 53 and then back to that phrase, etc. And at bar 70 we find ourselves going into the key of F for the third section of the piece. And that's one way of doing that opening phrase. You've got this thing, you've got to go 3, 2, 3, 3, 5. You could play it, sorry, that would be another way of doing it. To release that finger for that, whichever you're more comfortable with, obviously. Then big leap up to the 10th fret there, use those fingers and then slightly different syncopated rhythm this time, back to an F, then D minor, then a really subtle change down to an E. Sorry. Then that's 7 to 8, I just slide. Back to an A minor, C7. Notice how in that bar 81 that you've got this open string while you're moving to there. Then a lovely change of direction with that D flat 7 chord from the F. Use your little finger to guide your way from 3, that's going up to 8. Then just make sure that's at the right fret. Then again using this, that's actually a C7 chord, rather strange phrasing for it. Sorry, strange setting of the notes. In bar 85 you got that F. Then a little run up like that, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, then back to repeated. Etc. And then we have a little repeat after bar 86 when you've just had an F chord at the end of that section. You go and do this one. Function of that is to take you from the F key when you start back to G7 and then to C. At bar 91 we go into the final section. We're back in the key of C, although just to be difficult, it starts actually on an F chord, or at least it's more like a D minor with, sounds like D minor to A7, but it's then this C, then a G7, quite nice to hammer and pull off on those 1-3s on that bar, on bar 96. And repeats. Then new idea here. So it's 5, that's an F chord, then that little chromatic. Then in bar 105, instead of doing, Joplin just played a D7, the top C both times. Okay, and then you repeat it again. And then it tells you to go, the second time ending, then find the sign, which is bar 54, then you're back to the main theme. Quite a nice one to end on a low C, rather than try a harmonic there or anywhere else, or even a really high chord like that. I think just a low C to end with would be a nice way of finishing this wonderful entertainer. I hope you've enjoyed this, and remember to get the music from it, just email me at colinrtribe@btinternet.com.